kid actor, you finally get to that point where you're like, do I want to continue to do this? And my parents are very supportive. It just, I don't know, for me it happened, there was a casting director here named Shay Griffin. I don't even know if she's still cast, but Shay was she's like the original, she's like the OG casting directors of casting directors in Atlanta. And she actually planted that seed. She said, I think you might be ready for LA. And I didn't even know if I was ready for it. LA is, I had heard stories, LA being a different beast in and of itself, much like New York. So I didn't know if I was ready. Long story short, a gentleman from Howard University wrote a script. He graduated, he came here to do it. I went for an audition and I made the callbacks. And I remember laying in my bed and I got really nervous. I hadn't auditioned in a while, I got really nervous. And I actually began to cry. I'm gonna open up, this is Merge.
Come on, emotional man, that's all right.
But honestly, I sat in my bed and I began to cry. And as I cried, I started praying. And I asked God, what am I supposed to do with my life? I was in school studying early childhood development. I was going to open up a daycare. I thought that was kind of going to be that's what it was going to be. And I said, if it's not supposed to be rooted in a daycare, if it's supposed to be in this entertainment, give me a sign. And I went in and had a really great audition and ended up getting the part. We ended up moving to LA. I remember picking up a book by Dr. Charles Stanley it was literally at a truck stop in maybe Louisiana, because we drove out, it was maybe Louisiana, maybe even Texas. And the whole point of the book was just about faith. And I remember reading that book on the road out there. And this is one industry where faith is a must. For people that don't have it, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they're able to continuously go out and audition and put themselves in front of the people that ultimately give us jobs without the faith that at one point we're going to get a yes, and we're going to get a big yes. But for me, it was just a number of little things that kind of kept adding up, and I said, there's something here, and if I don't pursue, I talked to my parents, and they felt the same way. It was now or never. I was at a great age to do it. There was a lot of opportunities in LA. I mean, we had UPN, we had the WB, it was a slew of, shows that, it was a little different back then. And I'm so glad I listened, it hadn't always been great. It's certainly been filled with probably more valleys than peaks, but I've learned to enjoy the peaks. There's a part of me that almost anticipates the valleys, and I've learned how to make use of those valleys when they come along.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, you know what I heard you say, and something came to me. The world seems to have found how to, now you said you don't know how people who are not in faith, well, it seems like there's more of them than us sometimes, and that concerns me, which is why we need everyone in the room to really grab a hold of what we can do kingdom-wise in this entertainment industry. Because if the world has found a formula of believing in something and believing it to a point where it pushes, or as they say, the universe begins to, line up in their favor, then we've got to get this thing too, in a great way. Now, Tika, your it factor it's like cream, baby. It rises to the top. So I just want to know, how does that happen? How does your cream seem to rise to the top? I've enjoyed you for years now, and what you do, there's a magic that happens on that screen. It's undeniable. So when you hear that, Oprah had to make a call, and then that call happened, you go, well, yeah. So what is it for you at home? What is it like for you when those calls come through, you get off the phone with Oprah, and you go, okay, what just happened?
Oh, that was a lot, thank you.
Yeah.
The crazy part is, just to tell you a little bit of my story, I grew up in New York, was born in Queens, watched, A Different World, Cosby Show, and I was like, whatever that is. I remember watching Eve's Bayou, being like, oh my God, you can do, what's that in the box? I want to do that, And so I knew that it was there, I just didn't know how I was going to get there. So, after I finished high school, my mom was like, are you coming to North Carolina or not? And I was like, I knew I didn't want to do that, so I went to school for public relations, whatever, thinking, well, I guess I'll be a publicist if the plan, doesn't work out. So took classes around the city, ended up not being able to finish school because I couldn't afford school, and taken tons and tons of classes, and waitressing and just doing the grind work in New York City. And one day, I'm putting in all the work, right? And I'm just like, God, what else? I literally walked out of my job because I was bawling because I felt so abused there. And I was like, God, what do you want? I don't know what else to do. I'm auditioning, I'm taking classes, I'm doing it. And literally a day later, I got my first job, which was my first long job, which I've never stopped working after that, which was One Life to Live for 4 years. And I was just like, oh, so this is gonna work. And that's where my faith came in, because I really didn't know what to do. I literally was crying, walking down the street, ladies like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine, I'm having a conversation, I'm fine. So, but for me, it's about the passion and the work. It's not about the glitz and the glamour and all that. That's fun, but I know what I'm here for. And therefore my purpose can be fulfilled because I know I'm here for all the right reasons. And, obviously talent has something to do with it, but it's also, I just have this, I know I have a bigger purpose, and I know you have to use this platform for something way bigger than what the world sees it for. And so, I guess the cream rises and God keeps, for I know the plans I have for you to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you hope in the future. And I really believe that because certain things I don't get, and I'm like, I wanted that part so badly. But what is for you, and nobody can take that.
Hear that. And I need every actor I really don't like the word aspiring because I believe that you say things and they are